It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
On the floor for the visiting Boston Celtics.
It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, joined by my partners Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg. Looking at Boston, they want to turn it around after the loss to Utah in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, not a very inspired performance for them, particularly when they were defending. They just gave that hostile crowd plenty to cheer for.
Yeah, they allowed a lot of free runs to the hoop, a lot of open jump shots, and in the end, the opponent's shooting percentage was through the roof. You can't win if your defense isn't better than that.
And now the opening lineup for Boston. Turner is out there with Mickey. Then it's Thomas, and it's Young, and it's Gortat in at the 5 spot. There's the lob to the hoop. Nice catch and finish on the alley-oop.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop.
Really a heads-up play on both ends there. The steal and the quick push on the break.
Rapid-fire basketball at its best. Boom, 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 bang. And, you know, guys, a high-energy post player like Kenneth Faried excels at doing the dirty work. As a matter of fact, he's nicknamed the Manimal for good reason. Very few players in the league possess this combination of energy and aggressiveness.
And there's a whistle that goes on Mr. Clutch. That is his first foul of the game. Here is Thomas. He's coming off a 22-point game against the Utah Jazz.
But what stood out for me was his gorgeous playmaking out there. I mean, over and over, he was finding his teammates in a great position to score.
To the middle, Gortat with the steal. Thomas against Brown. Thomas kicks to Young. All sorts of time. Not enough on that one as it misses.
Nobody even close to him, and he can't believe he doesn't knock it.
Wow, good.
And the double clutch layup in that situation, that's just him playing to the crowd, guys.
The Celtics have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Brown against Thomas. Lets it go from the wing. Kenneth Faried pulls it in.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
Brown the pass to Mr. Clutch. Back to Brown. Here's Mr. Clutch. Gortat covering. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Brown dishes to Faried. Fires at the elbow. And off the front iron, and in it goes. And it's 6 points for James.
You know, you're going to have success when you can start out shooting 80% from the game. So early offensively, they've been great. That's the way you like to start.
Double team on Thomas. Here's Gortat. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Gortat's got his first basket of the night.
Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Up top, Brown. He's guarded by Thomas, and Faried kicks to Brown. Thomas passes to Turner. Down low, here's Gortat. Rebounded by Kansas City. This game coming on the heels of the win against the Kings.
They just looked stable pretty much from the get-go, guys. I mean, sometimes you see some inconsistencies come up in a road game that you don't see at home, but not the case in that one.
Tremendous balance on display, Greg. I mean, when you look at who was carrying the scoring load, making assists, playing unselfishly, I mean, they had it all working, and that led to the nice road win.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Got a piece of it. And that's out of bounds. Kansas City will retain possession. Our 2K leaderboard up on the screen now, giving you a look at the small forward position and the players with the most rebounds per game this year. You look at Harrison, one of the game's best, second in the league.
You know, there are some things he does really well on the perimeter, but in the paint, his rebounding is as impressive as anything else he does on the floor.
I think that's one of his calling cards, the rebounding, and it's the feistiness in the paint that allows him to do such a good job, and they're battling those big guys down low. I mean, I think it's really what sets him apart from other small forwards.
Norkic checked in for Kansas City. Harris comes in for Mr. Clutch. Kansas City leading by 4. Brown with it. Now, Thomas defending.
Timeout. Sorry.
And Kansas City decides to take their first timeout here. After Sullinger last season, further indication, Clark, that he needs to keep working on his conditioning.
And that was a concern coming into the league with Jared, is just how committed would he be to working on his body all the time and maintaining the level of conditioning that he needs. And injuries have been a part of that not being the case, but when he's out there, he's capable.
Time called here. Kansas City decides to talk it over.
And talking about Sullinger, you wonder if he's been in the right scheme for the past couple of years. He's not a three-point shooter. He's a back-to-the-basket banger. You want proof? Only hit 28% from behind the arc last season, and that was his career high.
Looking at who's out there now for Kansas City. Harrison comes in for Wilson Chandler. And it's Mr. Clutch in for Harris. And he gets it to go.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
Here's Smart. And the miss, not the best shot selection there.
You know, on the topic of Sullinger, guys, he said publicly that people are doubting him. And he's right. I mean, until he gets in better shape and stays that way, there will always be questions surrounding that part of his game. Hopefully for him going forward, he can be more Duncan than Diaw in the way he treats his body.
Shot is off. Now the Celtics take it the other way. Their last encounter was in Boston.
Yeah, I remember last time they met up, they just got ran out of the building. They weren't too happy with some of the calls in that game either.
Well, they felt they were called on far too many little nickel-dime fouls, little touch fouls. It ended up resulting in a lot of foul trouble for their starters.
Your heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Poke loose. It's stolen by Brown. And Kansas City pushing it up now. Brown's got the ball. Passes to Mr. Clutch. From deep. From beyond the arc, and then some. Mr. Clutch has got 5.
What marksman?
And Amir Johnson re-signed in Toronto. He's been a big part of this team for years, and
almost like a soccer atmosphere.
a lot of fans south of the border in the U.S. are surprised when they learn how passionate, Clark, the fans in Toronto can be.
You know, Kevin, that's so true. I mean, when they get it going at the Air Canada Center, that place rocks. And it's great to hear Amir talk about how that pumps him up and makes him want to do it for Canada.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Kansas City.
Well, they've come out of that locker room with the hot hand. Those jumpers have been falling for them.
And also, they're jumping on a lot of turnovers, making sure they turn them into points at the other end.
On the court for the Celtics, they've got Gortat. Jay Crowder out there with Mickey. Then it's Turner. And it's Young in at the 2 spot. Shot clock at 6. Brown dishes to Nurkic. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got 3 assists tonight.
Another gap in the defense found there, and they've really had their number today.
Turner with it. Picked up by Brown. And Jay gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Quarter number 2. We're about a minute in. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg? I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
And Young kicks to Turner. Pass to Gortat. Plenty of space. That one off the back iron and out.
I'll tell you what, folks. I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
And the thing, Greg, about Marcin Gortat, he's not a high flyer. He's not a super flexible athlete. But he's one of the best centers in the league because he's tough. And he's worked hard on developing his skills. And he always hustles.
Yeah, and he fights for position down low. A terrific screener. Does a lot of that dirty work. And he's also very good at passing the basketball. You know, a lot more skilled, particularly in the pick and roll, than maybe people give him credit for. He can hurt a defense in a surprising number of ways.
Kansas City leading by 9. To the right side. Nice ball movement by Kansas City. And it's off from 3-point range. The Celtics have gotten only 1. Their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop.
Talking about Gortat, he was a late second-round draft choice in 2005. His first 4 years in the league, highly underwhelming. Now, over the last 4 years, he's averaged around 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game. Those are good numbers.
And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Mr. Clutch. His last 10 games have been exceptional. Getting around 24 points per, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And he's been putting up points with regularity. I mean, that's what they depend on, his killer instinct on offense.
Yeah, and anytime this club needs a bucket, he's their go-to. Just irrepressible and a prolific scorer.
And getting back to Marcin Gortat, his dad was a successful light heavyweight boxer in Poland, so clearly you see where the toughness comes from. And Marcin's mom was on the Polish national team in volleyball, so you know where the blocking and ball skill come from. I guess we'd have to call him a chip off the old blocks.
Some firepower, Clark, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they've got a nice groove going right now offensively.
Now, that was pretty. That was just a nice-looking reverse jam right there.
Use the rim, Clark, to protect the ball, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, did a nice job with it.
Hey, guys, how about the awareness there with that finish in traffic?
And with that shot, the Kansas City lead is cut down now to just 5 on the basket from Turner. And here's Brown outside. Good work defensively by Turner.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, you hope that's not indicative of the type of D they're going to play, because if they do, they're going to have struggles with him tonight.
Brown, the pass to Harrison. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got 4 assists in the game.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
So the Celtics call timeout. They're first.
You know what? They just are in a funk right now offensively. A good time to maybe come up with a play to get them a good look.
Well, most coaches, usually have a go-to speech or tactic that